there's a lot of free agents still out there that, excuse me again. Oh my goodness. Aaron, help.
I got you. There's a lot of free agents here still available. We got our Matt Larkin top remaining list, led off by Jack Roslovic, Liam.
Yeah, it sounds like Roslovic is going to want a 3-year deal. Not going to be what the Oilers are going to be going after. But one thing I wanted to talk about is potential PTO candidates. Now, can we put a link from... Here we go, actually. I got a link right here. I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat right now, the Odd Company YouTube chat, from Puckpedia for remaining free agents. Let me know if there's anyone on there that you would like to see the Oilers potentially throw a PTO contract at. Now, PTO, I think everyone just assumes the Oilers are always going to sign those players. That's not obviously always the case. We've seen it a couple of times. Due to poor play, they don't make it, or... Hey, sometimes they just play well enough, but they sign for another team, i.e. Chris Versteeg. Mm-hmm. But obviously, the last few years, Hoffman was a guy that came through and essentially his career, well, not essentially, his career is over now. And his last stop was Edmonton. But on Puckpedia, the Oilers currently have 14 forwards under contract. That's not including Noah Phillips. So let's just say they have 15 forwards under that. 7 defensemen, but that doesn't include players like Alec Regula, Josh Brown. So we'll say they're at 9. Arto Lepinen as well, the other defenseman they brought over from Finland, who I believe set like the record for most points by defenseman in the league. So the camp is pretty full. But I still wonder if there's some names out there who might sneak their way on just due to uniqueness, I guess, in a way, especially more for the forward I'm going to mention. This is a player that Bob Stoff has mentioned a little bit too, and I'm actually surprised he's still available. But Brett Leeson, he was playing last season for the Anaheim Ducks. He's only 26 years old. 5 goals, 17 points, 62 games played. Was a healthy scratch for all 20 of those games that he missed. Played just shy of 13 minutes, was -2 on the season. Has scored 11 goals once in his career, which was a career high, which was from the year prior. Don't get me wrong, this guy is nothing special, but 6'5", hits decently well at about 65-ish hits last season, which might seem reasonably low, but that would be 5th on the Oilers last season. That was more than guys like Janmark, Arvidsson, Connor Brown, who, when I did a bit of research on this, surprisingly only had 19 hits on the year, which seemed incredibly low. Someone mustn't have counted him when he was going around.
I feel like you just accidentally run into people more than 19 times.
That's what I thought. So I don't mind the idea of a Leeson. He's actually a pretty decent skater as well. If you look at his numbers on NHL Edge, he's actually quite up there in a few things. His shooting is inconsistent. That's why he only has 5 goals, but he does come with a bit of a heavy shot. What I'm kind of thinking of here, and I believe Bob has said this too, I should have looked this up a little bit more, but decent penalty killer as well, has been able to play that role. Look, 62 games last season. Clearly saying he's okay to be a healthy scratch. He's obviously, I don't think any player is okay, but he's a guy you can just rotate in and out. Does he have the potential to be better than a Tomasek? Can he play a role that Kapanen can't do consistently? When Kapanen's not going the way he should be, can Leeson come in and do that job?
Injuries happen too.
Maybe a guy you can even get on a two-way deal and make him eligible to go down and play in Bakersfield. I also don't think if you're still available August 1st, you probably don't even need that waiver eligibility. You could probably just go right through anyway. But actually, too, he's from Calgary, so maybe something he would look at. There were rumors that he was potentially looking at a deal to go to the KHL. I just don't think he would want to go there at 26 years old. You're better off taking a flyer on a PTO. And again, August 1st, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 names left on the list that might actually earn real deals. Jack Roslovic being one of them. So I don't mind Brett Leeson. What did you make of my little spiel there? And
for me, when I look at this guy, I mean, obviously, points, whatever. He's clearly a fourth-line grinder. 26, good age. 6'5", right-handed shot. The Edmonton Oilers clearly lack a couple of those on the roster. I don't know about his PK abilities. You mentioned Bob Stauffer had mentioned it. It's worth a shot for a PTO. Yep. And I mean, the way I look at PTOs is take as many swings as you are legally allowed to take. And then, hey, you go from there. Injuries happen. If you're starting the season with Brad Leeson on your fourth line, I'd probably be a little bit whatever, but hey, give him a shot. Young guy. I like that. There still could be something in there. I wouldn't want him to go to the KHL just about yet, but right-handed, big body. Sign me up, dude. The Oilers did not lay hits last season. Give me this guy.
Yeah, Veronica asked during my coughing fit, are you okay? I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Also, shout out Veronica's back.
Shout out Veronica. Also in the chat, Fighting Amish. I wouldn't hate Luke Cunnin on a PTO, former first-round pick. I feel like the last two deadlines, at least, the Oilers have been somewhat linked with Luke Cunnin. Yeah. His underlying numbers aren't very impressive. I know sometimes those J-Fresh models, people don't like them, but if someone's in the red in single digits, I feel like it's someone new they shouldn't fully
Alarm
pursue.
bells will go off.
Matty39 said, Olofsson. He's such an interesting case. Obviously, he had a decent performance against the Oilers as well in the playoffs. I'm surprised Vegas didn't bring him back, considering how much lack of scoring they have on that team, which maybe is a reason why the Oilers shouldn't go for it. Ryan S. says, I like that idea, Liam. Younger. Maddie also asks, is Leeson physical on the forecheck type of a grinder? Yeah, I would say he can work guys down from my understanding of him. Sam Squatch said, Klim cost him. God, I hope they don't bring back Klim Shady.
Why? Why do you not want Klim?
I was a big fan of him, but it's like what Westside Shane just said too. Klim barely played on the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, exactly. Also, Maddie again. Big contributor to the chat today, Maddie. Yeah. You trying to get that top fan of the day?
Number 3 right now, I'm seeing.
Have you guys noticed that the fight in Super Wing? I have not seen that person comment once. No offense, Super Wing.
There we go.
But where was I? Fights. The others aren't seeking a fighter. They need guys who can play. I think Brett Leeson can play better than what Klim Kostin would play. Now, this next one, I don't know if I'm fully convinced on this yet, but it's an interesting case, I think. Played last season with the Vegas Golden Knights. What if the Oilers went out and PTO'd Ilya Samsonov? His numbers don't look that impressive, but also consider the Oilers' goalies from last season. Their numbers weren't that impressive. 20 years old, again, another former first-round pick, 22nd overall to the Washington Capitals, 2015. Only a couple of seasons removed from a really solid season with the Toronto Maple Leafs, where he had a .919 save percentage along with a 2.33 goals against average. 27 wins that season in 42 starts as well for the Maple Leafs. Unfortunately, from there, he regressed. .890 in his final season with Toronto, playing 40 games. Played as a backup last season behind Aiden Hill, .891 save percentage. 2.82 goals against average isn't terrible. The one thing I thought was decent about Samsonov, his expected goals against was essentially 0. Like above or whatever it is. You know what I mean. It was 0. Calvin Pickett's was -9. Stuart Skinner was around a -4. I believe it might have even been a bit lower. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it's a terrible option. I'm not necessarily saying he needs to come in and be the starter for this team, because I don't think he's at that level yet. But I wonder if he could just be a more consistent backup for you than Calvin Pickett is. And I like Calvin Pickett. I think we all are big fans of what Pickett has done for this team, but is he an upgrade? I 100% think Ilya Samsonov would be an upgrade over Calvin Pickett. I think he's a guy you can probably give back-to-back starts to, like with Pickett outside of the playoffs where he was amazing, obviously, 7-1 record, should really be 7-0. But outside of that run, we all remember the Carolina game where he was great, and it's like, okay, let's start him against Anaheim. And he got lit up for 4 immediately. I don't think Samsonov is necessarily the answer to everyone's hopes and dreams of a new goalie, but I think he's a better option than what Pickett could bring, or at least can push in camp.
I also think that there's with Samsonov that he has some of that Toronto Maple Leaf stink on him because they ran him out of town here and whatnot. But you look at 891. He had a 919, 3 years ago. So there is a goaltender in there. You talk about we've seen picks have good runs. Samsonov's had an entire good season of a run. However, when we look at Matt Larkin's projected contracts, I think he's got him at $2 million. $2 million.
Yeah.
1 year at $2 million. So
which is why he's still unsigned.
Exactly. So I don't know what the legitimacy would be there. If that's a PTO option, sign me up every step of the way. I feel like he's probably just waiting for some goalie to get injured here at the beginning of the year, and then bang, he will swoop in and go from there.
Also, again, with the PTO, that doesn't necessarily mean the Oilers need to sign him. Yep. And I think it would be good for Samsonov as well to be like, hey, like, look, I'm still playing. Like, I'm here. Like, come and sign me if that's the Oilers.
Also, a little kick in the ass. Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard, give you a little sit up straight kind of moment.
New goalie coach, like, maybe like Samsonov better. Like, I did see a few things online when I was doing a bit of research on Samsonov, being like, people were linking Gorgiev to Edmonton. Not a chance should the Oilers ever consider that.
He should never play in the NHL again.
Yeah, sounds like he's a bad guy, to be honest. I remember a few years ago when he was on the Rangers and everyone's talking about Tony DeAngelo being the problem in the room. Well, it turns out he's actually probably more Gorgiev than DeAngelo, and DeAngelo ended up, by no means is DeAngelo an innocent man in this either, by the way, but being a bit more of the scapegoat in it. People are actually talking about the vibes.
I was going to say, I like that point from Lance Kane. Yeah. Is he a vibes upgrade? Probably not over Calvin Pickard.
Vibes are always good if you're winning.
Yeah.
I agree, though. Like, it would take a lot.
I think even this Oilers team, when they're winning, their vibes are still pretty...
Yeah.
Like when your leaders are Connor and Leon and they don't smile.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.